Osmond, is it gonna rain or you just got that for looks?
It's
Just get ready to start raining right now. It's about time.
Ooh,
I chased it in.
ooh.
Not in a truck.
Have you got a quorum from the city or? So maybe we ought to get started as soon as Osmond walks in, I'll get started. Counselor? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of July 19, 2021. My name is Sina Nejad, and along with my colleague commissioners, I welcome you to our meeting. Please make sure that you silence your telephones, and when you're making public comments, please limit that to 3 minutes. And also refrain from abusing the commission members because we don't get paid enough to be abused by you. Other than that, please go ahead and call the roll.
Chairman Najad,
Here.
Commissioner Beatty,
Present.
Commissioner Javid,
Here.
Commissioner Little is absent, Commissioner Macon,
Here.
Commissioner Noyola,
Here.
Commissioner Karishi,
Here.
Commissioner Sinagar,
Here.
and Commissioner Steinhagen.
Here.
Thank you, ma'am. The minutes of the meeting of June 21st was sent to everybody, and if there is any corrections or comments, I will entertain to hear that. Otherwise, look for a motion to pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes into record. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Boone is out of town, and Adina would help us along with the rest of the cases. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Our first item on today's agenda is PZ 2021-160. This is a request for the approval of a replat of Lot 39C into lots 39C-1 through 39C-3, French Heights Addition, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. It's one property that has a house, a car wash, and a vacant lot on it, but it's all one piece, so the owner would like to divide it into the 3 separate pieces, is what the purpose of this plat is. Between the car wash and the house, I'm going to go ahead and forward so you can see. This is the plat, and I've zoomed in here so I can show you. The canopy, the 20 by 30 canopy that you see with vacuums, lines up almost exactly with the existing fence that divides the house from the car wash. It needs to be 5 feet from the property line in order to not have to ask for a variance or waiver or anything. So what they've done is moved the property line over 5 feet so they can keep the canopy where it is, which puts the property line in the middle of the driveway for the house. So they've created an easement between the fence and that property line to give the house full access to their driveway. So that's what you're looking at today. The applicant and the property owner are both here in the audience. If you have any more questions for me? We did receive 1 in favor and none in opposition.
Any questions for Ms. Jody?
What was the one in opposition?
None in opposition.
Oh, none in
0
opposition. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. 0 would probably sound
Got it, thank you.
clear.
Thank you, ma'am. And the applicant? Mr. Josie, good afternoon. If you please state your name and address for the record, and other than the fact that you're married to somebody we know, tell us more about the project.
Yes, sir. My name is Robert Blaine Josie. I go by Blaine. I'm one of the surveyors that work on the property.
Yes, sir.
My late friend and I both worked on it, and he passed away due to COVID. And
I'm sorry
pneumonia.
to hear that.
So, thank you. So fast forward, at the time we did this, we talked with our client and explained to our client that the canopy, where the vacuums are at the car wash, was so close. It's within 1/10 of a foot or so from the fence line. So after talking with Adina to help me figure out what to do and what not to do, we found that it was easier just to move the property line, do just a simple offset of 5 feet and place the property line such that it would not be a encroachment with the setback lines. And so then we said, well, what can we do? Well, we went with an easement in this case, as Adina mentioned. So
Great. Mr. Josie, this belongs to Mr. Omid Sahat, right?
yes, sir.
And do you know what the plans are for this property? They're just doing it to sell it, or?
I believe so. Mr. Omid is here.
Oh,
He's
great.
present. So
Okay. Oh, my goodness, I have not seen you since you were like 9 years old. Right? Great, great. Okay, good. We'll ask him some questions. You have anything else to add?
no, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sahat, I knew your late father very well. God bless him. He was a really nice guy. If you would, go ahead and introduce yourself and give us your address and tell me what you're going to do with the property.
Yes, my name is Omid Sahat. Address as in physical address?
Just give us an address where we can contact you.
Okay, it's at 786, live in Humble, Texas, in Devlin, 7806 Devlin Drive.
Great. Mr. Sahat, what is your plan for this property, just so we know why you're dividing it?
So it is for the purpose to parcel out the land to sell the home, the residence, and the property vacant lot,
Okay,
but to retain the business
okay.
of the car wash.
All right, great. Any questions for the gentleman? Thank you very much, sir. Have a great day. Good to see you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so we close the public hearing. We have heard from the surveyor, Mr. Josie. We have heard from the applicant, and I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you, sir. It was great seeing you. Ms. Josie, PZ 2021180.
PZ 2021-180 is a request to abandon a portion of city right-of-way. The majority of this right-of-way area, it's an unnamed right-of-way. We can't find any document stating what the name of this right-of-way was. You can see in the, hold on the screen, here we go. It's hard to see the red dot, this piece here. is the majority of what's being abandoned. So right here, the blue section is what he's asking to abandon at this time. It's bordered by Ewing, I believe, and Martin Luther King, and the property owner, that's the applicant, that's all of his property there to the north of it. So it's, let me see, it's located just south of 1315 South Street. And in 2019, there was an abandonment granted for approximately 28 square feet portion of land that was where the corner of the building protruded into that right of way. And now he would like to abandon the remainder of that property. As you can see, the stakes, the flags, he's had it surveyed to show where the property is. And it's just, it seems to be part of the yard, but it's not. So it's understandable that he would like to buy it. Staff recommends approval with the following condition. If approved, applicant shall obtain an appraisal and title commitment for the property to abandon at their expense. Appraisal and title commitment both be submitted to the planning office along with proof of that payment has been arranged prior to the item being placed on City Council's agenda. And all those parties of interest were notified, which was the applicant, because he's the only adjacent property owner. And I did not see, I don't think we have an applicant. I don't think they're here today.
Okay. What about the south side of that blue section? The little leftover piece of the south of it?
So,
You have the two parallel
Right
lines
here?
that are the easement.
you mean right here?
Yes, right in the blue where the two lines are separated.
Oh, this
Yeah,
little piece
uh-huh,
here?
Yeah.
It's city-owned property. I really can't tell you what it was originally. I don't know. But we own it now.
You own it now, okay.
We own it now. I know that
That's
most
good.
of it was an easement, but I guess probably maybe when they were building MLK, one of those streets when it was going through, maybe when Ewing made the turn, at one of those points, I'm sure they purchased whatever that property was, and it was probably the leftover.
So are you
Uh,
charging those folks for it, or you just,
Yes, we'll be, they'll be
Okay.
charging the city or charging the applicant for the property.
and you've sent this to, let's see,
We only send it to those property owners who are adjacent to the property. The city owns the property all the way around it except for the applicant, so,
good. So there is no public comments on this one?
no, sir.
Okay, great. Any questions for Ms. Adina?
Yes. How many square feet is that?
Square feet is the area going to be abandoned.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's over 2,000 square feet.
Oh, is there?
In the legal description, I believe it's described
Oh, okay.
as, hold
Oh,
on,
right. I didn't have. Thank
0.057 acres.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The applicants are not here, so, and there's no public hearing, therefore I ask for a motion.
I make a motion we approve file PZ 2021-180
Second.
with the following condition.
We have a motion with the condition number 1, and we have a second with the condition, correct?
Yes.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Adina, PZ 2021-194.
PZ 2021-194 is a request for the approval of a replat of lots 3 and 4 into lots 3A and 4A of Block 1 Amelia Meadows Edition. The purpose of the plat is to transfer ownership of approximately a 9-foot strip between property owners, from one property to the other, in other words. All the utilities appear to be in place, and both lots meet all the requirements for platting. And the plat is on the screen in front of you. 2 were notified and 0 responded in favor or in opposition.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Rowe, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Tom Rowe, Mark Whiteley and Associates, 3250 East Tex Freeway here in Beaumont. Eric Broussard owns both these lots. His home is on what will be lot 3A. And basically, he's just getting ready to have the opportunity to sell lot 4A. He just wanted his lot for his home to be just a little larger. Pretty simple little replat.
Great. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so we'll close the public hearing, and we've heard from the applicant and also the staff, so I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Ms. Josie, PZ 2021197.
PZ 2021-197. This is a request for approval of a final plat that's exempt from the preliminary approval due to its being located on an existing right-of-way with all the utilities basically present. Mr. Mitchell of South Tech Surveyors and Engineering has requested the plat approval. It consists of 8 lots out of 6.066 acres situated on an existing county street. The property is located in the city's ETJ, extraterritorial jurisdiction, and water will be supplied by Meeker Water District, and each property will have on-site septic systems. The county had asked for 2 changes to the plat regarding drainage and electrical easements. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions: that they add a note of post-development storm water flow of this subdivision to be routed to the east, and 2, to change a 10-foot utility easement to a 15-foot utility easement per Entergy for overhead electrical. And Mr. Mitchell has already brought in a plat with those changes on it with signatures. So,
Any questions for the lady? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mitchell. How are the kiddos doing, Mr. Mitchell?
Rolling like weeds.
I bet.
Jeremy Mitchell, South Tech Surveyors Engineers, 3737 Doctors Drive.
Mr. Mitchell, obviously, since you brought the revised drawings, you understand the 2 recommended conditions, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions for the gentleman? See how easy it is? And you complain.
Hey. It's good seeing you.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Have a great day. We've heard from the staff and also the applicant, and he has brought the revised drawings, understanding the 2 conditions. With that, I would ask for a motion.
Motion to approve with the conditions.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. Steinhagen seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. All right, Adina, we're getting close. PZ 2021-200.
okay. PZ 2021-200 is also a final plat exempt from the preliminary plat approval. Mr. Aaron Ward of Faust Engineering and Surveying has requested approval of Lucas Estates. This plat will consist of 9 lots situated on existing city streets. The development is zoned residential single-family and involves 1.7 acres along Tram Road. Although it does appear that all utilities and infrastructure are in place, currently there are only 2 fire hydrants spaced approximately 871 feet apart at this location. In a non-developed area, this would be permitted by code, but with this land being divided into residential lots, code requires a maximum distance of 500 feet between hydrants. 1 new fire hydrant between lots 4 and 5 will be required. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following condition: install a new fire hydrant between lots 4 and 5. And the applicant is in the audience. And did you have any other questions for me?
Great. Any questions for Ms. Josie? Thank you, ma'am. Only one fire hydrant, right?
One fire hydrant.
And we go to Mr. Faust. I hated to wake you up. I mean, you look so comfortable laying out there. How are you?
Just fine. My name's Richard Faust. I'm with Faust Engineering Survey in Beaumont, Texas. Our address is 5550 East Texas Freeway, Suite O, in wet Beaumont, Texas, I might add. And glad to answer any questions you have.
Mr. Faust, you understand the requirements of additional fire hydrants?
Yes, sir, certainly do.
Okay, great, great. Any questions for the gentleman? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day. This doesn't require a public hearing either. So we have our case number 200 and staff's approval with the additional fire hydrant. Any motion?
Motion to approve with the conditions to add the fire hydrant.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second, I believe.
With the condition, yes.
We have a second with the condition. Thank you, sir. And any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. And PZ 2021-199. Oh, wait a minute. This is the, we're going to the Joint Commission. All right, the mayor is absent here today, and the Honorable Samuel is going to lead us to the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. On behalf of our mayor, I'm not Robin Newtown, but on behalf of our mayor, I'd like to welcome you to your city hall. And at this time, could we have a roll call?
Mayor Mouton, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Samuel.
Present.
Councilmember Feldshaw, absent. Councilmember Turner.
Present.
And Councilmember Neal, absent. And Councilmember Getz.
Present.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Councilmember Durio.
We do have a quorum, and this is the opportunity for a quorum of city council and the planning commission to hear all the items on the agenda today. This will be the only opportunity you will have to address the council in public hearing. After this, the commission will make a decision and then send a recommendation to the city council. But when it comes in 1 or 2 weeks, you will not have the opportunity to speak to council at that time. So this is the time to voice your concern, address the issues on the agenda today. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, sir. I've got a call from Councilman Neal. He is in Dallas with his young daughter for a surgery, so he is in our thoughts and prayers. Ms. Josie, PZ 2021-199.
PZ 2021-199 is a request for a specific use permit to allow a beauty salon spa on the north side of Delaware, just west of Belmont Drive. Hanny Tomei has requested this approval. The space will be rented to hairstylists, nail technicians, and massage therapists, along with other related professionals. Sola Salon Studios is a chain with 550 locations. Each professional has their own suite to decorate and operate to their own standards and needs. Landscaping requirements for new developments include perimeter landscaping with screening for parking areas and islands throughout the parking area with required trees. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions. Number 1, construct a 6-foot wide landscape strip for the perimeter of the parking lot to meet city requirements along Delaware Street. Number 2, install 3 landscaped islands to meet city requirements. And 3, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer improvements, including any requirements of the city's backflow, pretreatment, and/or FOG program. Notices were mailed to property owners within 200 feet. We sent out 4 notices. We did receive 1 in favor and 0 in opposition. And I guess I can show you some more slides, huh? It's the difference between these and the others. Okay, you're looking at a map showing where the property is located. This is an aerial photograph that shows the new veterinary clinic next door. And this is a site plan of the new development. You can see the veterinary clinic in the background. In the foreground is where the proposed salon will be built. And this is off to the west, and you can see the residential to the rear, which is to the north. And that is it for the photos that we have for today, for this one.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions? All right, and the owner's representative is? It's okay, Sam, you can do
You
it.
want me to leave it there?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tomei.
Haney Tomei with Golden Triangle Consulting Engineers, 85 Interstate 10 Frontage Road, Suite 204A in Beaumont, Texas. This is a unique concept to Beaumont because I don't think we have any other facilities similar to it that will accommodate professionals such as hairdressers, nail technicians, masseuses, and so on and so forth. And obviously it's been a very successful concept in other parts of the United States based on how many facilities they are already running and operating. We've been working with Mr. Parigi to meet all his requirements, which are a little bit more stringent than the cities, but we were able to get through that system. And if you all have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
So you're doing this for an owner, or you guys are own and operating it, or?
We're doing that for an owner.
An owner, okay.
Yeah, and the owner's purchasing the land from Mr. Parigi.
Fantastic, okay.
Are there other locations in Texas? You said there's several places
I
where.
believe they have some in Dallas and Austin.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
How big is the property? How many, half an acre or something?
No, the property is, remind me, Mr. Parigi, about 1 point something acres. We needed the parking spaces because of how many units can be in there.
And Mr. Tomei, you understand the 3 conditions from the city, right?
I do.
Perfect. Any other questions for the gentleman? Thank you very much. Good to
Thank
see you, sir. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case?
My name is Sam Parigi, and I'm at 445 North 14th Street here in Beaumont. I'm only here to answer any other questions you might have of the landowner. We're developing down Delaware Street. They're paying some pretty high dollars for land on Delaware, so they have no choice but to build something pretty nice, and I think this is going to be a nice facility for Beaumont. The veterinarian, obviously, if y'all have ever looked at it, that is one of the most high-dollar veterinarian clinics I've seen built in a long time. You got the Kids Are Kids further up the road. You've got another dental office up the road there, not to mention the three-story climate control buildings and all that. So I think I think we're doing a good job for Delaware. They're gonna drain the back end of this property. We're gonna give them an easement across our property, and they'll drain it directly into the pond back there. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
I don't see a north arrow in, oh yeah, there is, so this is on the north side of the.
North side of
the
Delaware,
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
West side of Valmont.
Right, okay.
I don't know who the 2 people were that said no to it or something, but, nobody? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I heard you say, when you get old, you don't hear as well, so. That was me. That was me, but I made it a point to tell you I'm the owner too.
Mr.
So-
Parigi, they saw your name, and God forbid if they oppose that thing.
None whatsoever, none whatsoever.
You know that.
Okay, if no questions, I'll be glad to sit myself down.
We got it approved, it's just for the entertainment
I
part of it,
know,
right?
I was thinking that.
All right. Well, great. We've heard from the staff and the engineer and also the landowner. They do understand the three requirements, additional requirements from the city, and nobody has opposed to this thing. But is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments for or against this case? None is heard, so we continue, and I ask for a motion.
I make a motion to approve with the condition.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Senegar. We have a motion and we have a second.
Second with these two conditions.
Any, three conditions, right? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. And PZ 2021-201.
Go ahead, forward out. PZ 2021-201. This property might look familiar. It's come before you a couple of times before. Mr. Lee is requesting an amended specific use permit to allow condominiums at 4515 North Major Drive. In September of 2020, Mr. Lee requested a development consisting of 17 condominiums and approximately 23,080 square feet of retail space. In December of 2019, a request for retail and storage was approved. Now, the retail space has been eliminated and 70 condominium units are proposed. The number and location of driveways is subject to approval of TxDOT. Any substantial changes to the site plan resulting from driveway approval may necessitate additional review of the plan via the specific use permit process. The comment on Beaumont Fire, I think that was a holdover from the last request, and I did not delete it because I don't have a condition for it. So that's what I think that is about.
So mark that out.
So I think you can work that out.
Okay.
Because when I went back to City Works to see their remarks this time, it did not mention that. So I called and left a message but didn't hear back from them in time. So pretty certain that's from the last meeting. So.
Well, they might show up again, I'm not sure, but again, he's gonna satisfy the requirements of the permit anyway, right?
Correct. If the fire department has a requirement for moving it, then they'll have to move it. Aerial photograph of the subject property. This is the site plan with just the condominiums. And subject property to the north, east, and south. I'm going to back it up to the site plan. And that is all I have for you. We did mail notices to 9 property owners. We received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition.
Thank you, ma'am. And the applicant? Mr. Tomei, good afternoon.
Heini Tomei with Golden Triangle Consulting Engineers, 85 Interstate 10 Frontage Road, Suite 204A, Beaumont, Texas. Dr. Nejad, I have to start this with an apology because last time I stood in front of you speaking about this, I was not very truthful. Because I told you I'm not coming back on this project again, and here I am. And the only reason I'm here is because Dr. Lee is saving lives in the hospital, so he couldn't make it, so.
Well, he's saving lives and killing trees, right?
We have no trees to kill, so.
All right.
We believe in planting trees. But this project is the same as you have seen it before, minus the commercial buildings in the front, and we extended the townhouses towards Major Drive. We have approximately 70 units, about 52 parking spaces for guests. And I'm not saying this time that this is my last time to come back, but I hope it is. If you all have any questions, we can answer them.
I have a question. What happened to the retail space and storage? What changed
The
that you're now
original
changing
plan-
over to condominiums?
Yeah, the original plan was actually storage with retail space, and then the owner did some research, discovered there's a over availability in storage units, so he changed his mind to go to condominiums and go back to retail in the front, and he did a little bit more homework and realized there's more profit and a larger demand on multifamily residential, such as these units, than there is retail, specifically in that area, so he decided to change it one more time.
Thank you.
It's good for my business, so I'm not gonna complain.
Thanks.
Mr. Tomei, where are the parking spots? I only count 19 of them.
There should be some in the front, some in the back, and
I don't see any in the back.
the image I have is not very, the one you have is not very clear, but see the back on the two units to the left of that?
Oh, at the pointed corner,
Yes.
there's a parking there?
Those are
Okay.
additional parking spaces, yes. I depended on my draftsman on the counting. I didn't count them myself, but you can count them. You're closer to the screen, Dr. Nejat.
All right. Well, I mean, you're gonna go through the permitting process and they're gonna approve that with the proper number of parkings, right?
Oh, they do plenty of counting there, yes, sir.
Fantastic. And the blue lines are the sidewalks, I believe, right?
That's the water line easement that the city of Beaumont's gonna require.
The blue
An
line, okay.
exclusive water line easement, 10 feet wide.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna make a loop in there. All right, great. Any other questions for the gentleman?
Is this two-story or single story?
2 stories.
Two stories.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? If you would, please come up here, state your name and address, and you can ask questions, and we'll try to get you an answer. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Laura Rennick, and I manage Major Crossing Apartments, which is next door to this at 4575 North Major Drive.
Fantastic. That is your
Yes.
address, right?
Correct. Well, no, that's not my personal address. It's my
That's
work
okay.
address.
We just want to make sure we're able to contact you.
Yeah. So I was just kind of clarifying the condominium concept. Usually, condominiums you sell to people. So is this going to be rental property, or are they going to sell it to individuals?
We'll find out for you in a second.
Awesome. That's what I
Thank you,
have.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Anybody with a question? We'll close the public hearing. Mr. Tomei, you had a question that was asked, so it would be nice if you clarified that, please. The question was, are these units for sale or for rent?
For rent.
All right, so they're owned by the owner, and he's gonna have management, and then you're gonna rent it.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Any other comments? We heard from the applicant and also the staff, and he does understand. Let's see, there is no conditions, and then they're gonna clarify the parking requirement with the city during the permitting process. And also the fire hydrant, that would also be cleared during the permitting. I think the only fire hydrants are across the street. I don't remember that, but anyway. With that, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. And a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it, thank you. And Adina, you have done such a great job bringing us to the last case.
Two more.
Two more?
Yes,
Oh, God.
8 and 9.
Sorry to disappoint you, there are two more.
No. The more we hear from you, the better. PZ 2021-202.
Yes, sir. PZ 2021-202 is a request for a specific use permit to allow a drive-through daiquiri shack or bar at 5305 College Street. Crystal Carter is, has made the request. It's an operational snow cone stand at this time, and they would like to add alcohol to their menu. All sales will be drive-through only, and hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, noon to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, noon to midnight, and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Staff recommends approval of the request. We did send notices to property owners within 200 feet to 10 different property owners, and we received 0 in opposition and 0 in favor. So
Any questions?
I do have pictures I can show you. You're looking at an aerial photograph of the subject property. It's outlined in red. This is a closer, more recent aerial photograph of the subject property. The building on the right-hand side is the one where the snow cone stand is currently located. And this is a site plan. This is a picture of the building that has the snow cone. The flames is the snow cone stand. And this is the other building on the property. This is to the east, to the north, and to the west. I'm going to back it up. I think probably to the site plan, do you think?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions?
Where
Yeah,
is the-
Adina, wasn't there a drive-through daiquiri place on College somewhere before?
We
Is
have
it?
had some in the past. They were limited. The only ones I'm familiar with were limited to, they used a wine mixture to create their snow cones. This will actually be hard alcohol.
Oh,
That
okay.
will be added. As of the state laws being changed,
Right,
they can now sell hard alcohol to go.
okay, but not the same location as before.
No, this is not
Thank
the
you.
same location.
Do they have a window for drive-through?
It does. It's on the right-hand side of that building right there. So, and the applicant is here in the audience.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Carter? You gotta be more excited than that. How are you?
I'm fine, how are y'all?
And your name and address, please?
Crystal Carter, you want my work address or my home address?
Give us the work address.
6520 College Street, Beaumont, Texas, 77707.
Correct. Anything that you wanna add to what Ms. Adina has told us?
No, the only thing I wanted to tell y'all on, looking at this site plan, there are no parking places on the side. That's my drive-through, my 2 drive-through lanes.
Uh-huh.
And we do have a drive-through window right there, and the other one showed the arrows showing. I have 2 lanes to keep
Okay.
them out of College Street,
All right.
you know, because they back up to the street and everybody's trying to get in, so I have 2 lanes. And then across the back of the building, coming the way they drive out, they come in one way, they come all the way around this building that we also own that's on the same property, and they come out the other entrance. And we have parking places across the back of that fence line. There's like 10 of them for excess parking, you know, so we can keep them. We take their order, bring them up and park them, and then bring their drinks out to them. Or their snow cones, either one. To
Okay.
keep them out of College Street, keep them a wreck happen.
Ms. Carter, just for my own education, how does this work with having open containers in the car?
Well, it isn't, they're not supposed to open them in the car. We're gonna have to seal them in a cellophane sealed, you
Right.
know,
I've seen those,
deal.
sure.
And now, once they leave, I can't control that, but I know I can serve it properly.
Okay. so if they do breach that seal with a straw, that's their problem.
That's their fault.
Okay.
It's their problem.
And,
'Cause
and from what she said, now you're serving real alcohol.
Yes,
So
we're-
what's the percentage?
It's just like you go to the liquor store and it's one shot, you know.
Okay.
You go, you get your
So
bottles.
there's no rule of what, somebody comes and asks you for a triple, you just put 3 jiggers in
Well,
there?
they say that you can sell them an extra shot, you know, you can put an extra one in, there's like being in a bar.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they pull up to my window and they look like they're sloshed, I'm not even gonna serve them anyway.
Good move.
And if there is an adult, you ask for an ID, but if there are kids in the car, so be it, right?
Well, I would hope that they would be responsible adults if they had their children and they're buying
Okay.
snow cones for their children, that they would wait till they got home and opened it. I mean,
Good.
I mean, I have a
That-
child. I mean,
Yes, ma'am. I would just, for my own education.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have one. How long has the snow cone part of this been open?
Since March. and
Okay,
it is
so
struggling.
this is an add-on
It's-
pretty
yes.
recently.
Well, I'm trying to keep people employed.
We
And
appreciate that. That's
and-
great.
This, I mean, you can make, well, I can tell you, you make 106 snow cones and make $250. And you got wages at $10 an hour.
You're gonna have more business now.
That's what made me decide to go that route, because they would pull up and they'd say, "Are y'all selling daiquiris too?" And I'd say, "Well, you have one there and there." "Well, we don't like theirs."
Okay,
And I said, "Well, that's a good idea to keep us in business."
right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the lady?
I have a question.
Yes, sir, please, Councilman.
How you doing, ma'am? Hi. With it being a full access liquor license, will you just serve daiquiris, beer, and wine, or you also serve drinks to go as well, since you have the full access?
At this point, it's gonna be strictly daiquiris. I'm not looking to be in the bar business. You know, just depends on how daiquiris go, depends on, you know, but I'm looking for just strictly daiquiris.
And one more question, will it be strictly daiquiris and like margarita type frozen drinks, or will it kind of be, if somebody wanted the snow cone, would that be an option, or just daiquiris and margaritas?
Oh, no, the snow cone stand will still be in business.
Okay.
You will sell both.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not killing the snow cone stand, I'm just adding to it.
Yeah, my kids like the snow cone, that's what I'm asking.
I'm not there a lot, but I end up there on the weekends a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
But no, we're not killing the snow cone at all, we're just trying to stay in business.
And you're not putting alcohol in the snow cone, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? We close the public hearing, and we've heard from the applicant and also the staff, and I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion, we approve file PZ 2021-202.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. Great. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Remember the guy that was gonna do a walnut or
I was thinking of that.
something, peanut something, and he brought us samples?
Yeah, we're available.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna get to the last section, the last application. PZ 2021-208.
All right. PZ 2021-208 is a request for a specific use permit to allow a sports bar in a GCND district. Mr. William Griffin has made the request. The facility will be located in an existing strip center on 11th Street. The address of the property is 2455 South 11th Street. Hours of operation will be Wednesday till Monday, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., closed on Tuesdays. Security will be provided at night. This location predates the landscaping ordinance, so privacy fence exists between the strip center and the residential properties to the east. An 8-foot tall privacy fence will need to be installed and maintained for the full width of the property. In other words, right now there is a privacy fence there, but they weren't required to put up an 8-foot fence at the time because they were there before the landscaping ordinance. But as we're going to be granting, or you may be granting a specific use permit, would like to request the condition that they install an 8-foot wood or masonry fence for the width of that property between them and the residential properties to the east. So staff recommends approval with the following conditions. Install the 8-foot wood or masonry privacy fence for the width of the property. And 2, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's pre-treatment and our FOG program. We sent out 27 notices to properties within 200 feet. We received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. And pictures, yes.
Any questions for the lady?
Here, I'll show you a few pictures real quick. This is an aerial photograph of the strip center. I've highlighted in red or pink, I guess, the portion that's going to be the proposed sports bar. This is a site plan showing the parking and all the strip center. This is the strip center from across the street. The location of the proposed bar. The rest of the strip center up close where you can see it. Property to the north, west, and south. And I will back up to the...
Dina, would you go back to the proposed site, please?
To the proposed site?
Yeah, that's,
This one?
is that where it's gonna be?
That's where the bar is going to be.
The last session.
Okay, thank you.
You mean leave it there?
Go to the site plan, please. Good.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Griffin? Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Yes, I'm good, sir. How you doing?
Very well. If you would introduce yourself and give us an address, please.
Yes, my name is William Griffin, 9195 Landis, Beaumont, Texas, 77707.
Mr. Griffin, who is Earl? Is it Earl or Pars or?
Earl.
Earl.
Yeah, that's me. I'm William Earl Griffin.
Oh.
I go
Okay.
by Earl. Earl's a middle name.
Okay, great, great. So tell us about this venture that you're getting into.
Actually, I've been in the bar business for a while. I had closed last year because of COVID, and it's a new location. And I think I want to open up. It's in a good location. Don't have no bars and that, nothing like that in that area. So I'm just trying to see if I can get it open. Actually, I used to own my very first bar was in that right next door to Sunrise.
Oh.
So I'm actually going back, but I'm be at the other end of it. It's a nail shop now, the one I used to own.
Good. And how many people are you going to employ?
At least that's about 30-something hundred square feet bar. So you're looking at anywhere from 6 to 10 people.
What kind of security you gonna have there?
Actually, I own a security company, so I'll be doing my security too.
They certified armed peace officers?
No, this is regular security. This basic, actually it's Top Flight Security. It's my company, it's my business.
What type of fence you can put up, wood or masonry?
It's actually wood.
Wood.
Actually, I think the fence is 8 foot, right? I think. Yes, yeah, it is 8 foot. And it's going all the way across the back line, It's 8 foot. Okay, that's, well, when I did the measurements, and then she told me to the landlord, so. Yeah, we'll take care of it. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you understand the conditions that they have?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that on the second condition, it says, including any requirements of the city's pre-treatment and/or FOG program. That's the fancy word for a grease trap. You understand that, right?
The grease trap?
Right.
So that's for the grease trap?
That's gonna be up to the water department.
Okay. Yes, sir, that's fine.
All right. Any questions for the gentleman? Any more?
The parking lot doesn't look in good condition. Who is going to repair the
Why
parking?
does it necessarily have a grease trap? You're not serving the food, are you?
No, sir.
Why does it necessarily have a grease trap?
That was the response that we received from the water department whenever they reviewed his request. So what they're stating is that they're waiting to see the rest of what he's submitting to us. And I guess if he wants to serve snacks or something, then they'll require that he have the grease trap. They're just wanting to let him know that there's a possibility that he would have to install it.
On the grease trap issue, they do have portable grease traps.
You can hash that out with the city permit
City,
department.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Right.
When you go for your permit, they will let you know all of that good stuff.
Yes, sir, okay.
You just need to make sure before you spend a lot of money in there, you need to get all those
Exactly,
straight
yeah.
and know where they're going. Okay. And you did say that you have your security
Yes, sir.
and the parking lot is, you're renting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. That's responsibility of the owner. Any other questions for the gentleman?
What kind of, are you gonna just be selling beer,
And alcohol.
liquor,
Yes, sir.
wine?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Mr. Griffin, thank you very much. Good luck, sir.
Thank
Thank you. Now we open the floor to public comments, so gentlemen in the back, you can come up here and state your name and address, and then we'd be happy to hear your comments, sir.
Yes, I just come in favor for Mr. For what it is.
Well, good afternoon to you. And your name and address, please?
Herman Davis, 790 Amarillo, and the residence there is 2460 is the Owens estate in that area, right in the back.
Fantastic. And
Right in
your-
the back, the house.
Perfect. And your comments, sir?
I just want to go with him and I'm behind him and approve him.
Oh, great. Thank you.
All right.
Any other comments or questions from the public?
One question.
Yes,
For
sir.
clarification purposes, if he's not cooking inside of the establishment, he will not have to have a grease trap, right? I don't want it to be in the aspect of he's not cooking in there and they're still requiring him to put a grease trap in there. He's not, that's the expense that he may not have to utilize.
Won't be necessary, will it?
I can't speak for the water department. The water department, their comment on his application was exactly what I read to you. And all it's stating is that he will need to meet whatever their requirements are. It's not saying he has to have a grease trap. It says, right, it's just saying he will need to meet whatever requirements there are based on what he's actually doing when he submits for his permits. So, but I'm not a water department expert, so I really can't say.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if that was kind of standard, if they wasn't sure if he was having a commercial kitchen there or not.
Yes.
Requirement on there, it's kind of tough to put it on there if they're not actually cooking in there.
They put that requirement on every single case I have, but we only put it on the ones that we feel like actually could possibly use it. For instance, somebody serving any kind of something to be consumed, you know. So,
Councilman, at one point, an unnamed source told me if they had it their way, every house in Beaumont would have a grease trap. Just for your own information. So, it does do a lot of good. Well, if you're producing grease, you don't wanna clog up the lines. It costs the treatment center quite a bit of money to get rid of the grease, but we did a frozen yogurt, and we did have to put a grease trap in there. With that said, anybody else in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? No more, and we close the public hearing. We've heard from the staff and also the applicant, and I would entertain a motion.
We'll make a motion to approve with conditions.
We have a motion to approve
Second,
and a second with the conditions.
with the conditions.
Great. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition?
No.
No. We have one no. The case is approved. Thank you very much. Mr. Samuel, we await you to send us home. Thank you very much, sir. You did a great job. I will let the mayor know. Oh, my goodness.
Job as always.
Now I'll go home and listen to my wife.
No, she's gonna be glad to
Oh, I heard you say that.
see. Yeah, better be careful.
Hey, Cena,
You keep telling me you're gonna call me. I'll keep waiting.
the microphone was on when you said that about so hey.
Trouble.